Hare Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. यद्यपि आत्म विनाश निमित्तो मोहो न संभवति नित्य आत्मा इति विजानतः तथापि शीतोष्ण सुख दुख प्राप्ति निमित्तो मोहो लौकिको दृश्यते सुख वियोग निमित्तो दुख संयोग निमित्तः च शोक इति एतद् अर्जुनस्य वचनम आशंक्य आह. Here one question is raised that a person who knows that the absolute reality, the self, is other than the body and he is immortal, yet while in association with the body one does experience good and bad experiences, such as union with the miseries and disunion from the joys. So dukkha sanyoga nimitta moha and sukha viyoga nimitta moha, this happens. What about that? Now this is said in the 14th verse. A part of it we have seen. Matra sparashastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada agama apayina anityaha tantitikshasva bharata. Then what is to be done about it? Meaning what? Whether you know the truth that you are Atma or you don't know that you are the Atma, the bottom line is there will be association with the joy and there will be dissociation from the joy. There will be association with the misery and there will be dissociation from the misery. This is not going to stop. How do you solve this? Meaning what? I am not afraid of death. Then I am afraid of living. Because all the miseries come while living, not while dead. I told you, in Banaras I went, one old Mahatma, he was so bent upon dying and talking about Vedanta Shastra. And he said, I give everybody only one Ashirvad. May you die. May you die. What is there to live for? There is no necessity to live. Because he is very old, 90 plus, so I was keeping quiet. And after that he said, so you want my blessings? I said, no, let us bless each other separately. I bless myself, you bless yourself. Mutual blessings. See, if we may not be very attentive, we may not be afraid of the death of the body, but we definitely are afraid of the possible miseries that are likely to come. And we are definitely afraid of the possible comfort that are likely to be taken away from us. See? Fear is there. Very important. Remember our Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to say that there are people who are courageous, they can face the tigers and lions and snakes. But when it comes to mosquito, they require a mosquito net to do meditation. Therefore, what is to be done with this situation? So, matras parashastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkha. He gives the principle. What is the principle? Principle is, now always try to understand this way. Principle, when it is applied as a principle, then you are wise. And when you learn the principle and apply it with the biasness and ifs and buts, you are otherwise. See? So here is the principle. What is the principle? Matras parashastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada. Whenever you function in relativity, when the senses and the object come together, there are only two kinds of experiences possible. One is that of joy, other is that of sorrow. And the joys and sorrows we get from the same thing. The heat gives us joy sometime, the same heat gives us misery sometime. The cold gives us joy sometime, the same cold gives us misery sometime. So the capacity of the pairs of opposite, sukha, this shita ushna, cold, heat, etc., that is vyabhicharati, that goes on changing. But the sukha, dukkha is the same thing. Always it will be there. Now when you know that after the day there is a night, after the night there is a day, after the day there is a night, why worry? Then titikshasva bharata, accept it, endure it. There is nothing that you can think, talk and do about it. See how basic principle it is. Therefore, शीतम कदाचित सुखम कदाचित दुखम तथा उष्णमपि अनियत रूपम सुख दुखे पुनः नियत रूपे यतो न व्यभिचरतः अतः ताभ्याम पृथक शीतोष्णयोः ग्रहणम. Therefore, शीत उष्ण, these are the objects which are constantly changing, but experiences given by them, joy, sorrows are the same thing. Now, if this is the same thing, what can you do? Yasmate matra sparshadayah agamapayinaha. Means what? Agama apaya shilaha tasmad anityaha. Now see the basic foundation. That which begins and that which ends is temporary, it is anitya, it is not real. Now don't compromise with this rule. When we compromise with this rule, samsara will be created. See? Agama apayina. That which begins, that which ends is anitya. That which is anitya cannot be dealt with. What will you do with the mirage waters? Nothing. Neither you can use it nor you can destroy it. No, I want to utilize the mirage water for bottling mirage waters. The other day one person met me. He said, Swamiji, I am so disgusted. I said, it's a common thing. Something new you tell me. He said, they are selling this gomutra, the urine of cow, as a medicine. And Swamiji, they are charging 80 rupees per bottle. Actually, the cost will not go more than 3, 4, 5 rupees. Why they are making so much of money? I said, you start selling cow dung cakes and make money. Why you are worried about it? Now those who are lost in this kind of thinking, they are not fit for contemplation. Basic principle. Agama apayina ataha anityaha. Now apply this principle everywhere. Now to apply this principle everywhere and understanding, I will give 1 or 2 examples. See, you have seen the neon lines, advertisement of the fan. They make the neon tubes fan blades, and the electrical current passes through those blades in a particular sequence. And from a distance it looks as if the fan is moving. Is the fan moving? So the appearance of the movement does not mean that there is a movement. And can this appearance of the movement be possible without the foundation, the electrical energy? No. Second example. This example I have given also earlier, and in my book probably contradiction there I had given somewhere. Or maybe in the ego factor. You start the car and invoke the horsepower. Switch off the car. This invoked horsepower, we will label it for our data as HP1. Then again you start the car and again you switch off. So this second time invoke horsepower, we will call it as HP2. So first horsepower invoke, died. Second invoke, died. Third invoke, died. Now, can you make a story out of these different segments of invoke horsepowers? They have no relation. Because each is incomplete, temporary. See? Think. Take another example of our own life. We have so many dreams. Now, do you take all the dreamers and make a garland of a dream ego? No. Now come to the next step. We have had so many experiences, beginning and ending, beginning and ending. The class begins, thank God, it ends. So the one who was sitting in the last class and the one who is sitting in this class, they are not the same. But we feel the continuity. Yes, you feel. How does it matter? See? It is something like, garlands. Sutre Maniganaiva, 7th chapter Bhagavad will tell us. Because all the flowers are put together by a common thread, that doesn't mean there is a one flower. So it appears to be continuous, but it is in reality discontinuous segments. See? The moment you go deeper and deeper into this, then you will understand Tantitikshasva Bharata, what is there to fight about? It is like this, that's it, over. But what we do, one experience of life, we make an issue out of it. Just analyze your own experiences in the childhood. Parikshalokan karmachitan brahmanaha nirvedamayat. So you must have done sometime in your childhood, for one particular thing, you must have made a big issue out of it. Unless I have this thing, I do this thing, I don't commit suicide, and I will not take food, no, like that. Now look back, you will only laugh at your own past foolishness. Isn't it? Such a small thing became a big issue. So the only way is, if you are rooted in the self, the modifications of joy and sorrows in the prakriti, in the mind, will not influence you. To get to that point, what is the beginning, what is the starter? The starter is Tantitikshasva Bharata. Learn to endure what cannot be cured. This is called a spiritual practice. Matra sparashastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada agama apayina anityaha tantitikshasva bharata. So, yasmate matra sparshadaya agama apayina shilaha tasmat anitya ataha tan shitoshnadin titikshasva prasahasva teshu harsham vishadam ma karshi ityartha. And is it not like, our great saint says, Jagi sarvasukhi asakona ahe vichari manatu jishodho nipahe. What is the same principle? Who is in this world who doesn't have miseries and joys and sorrow? Everybody has. It is a common denominator for every experience. But out of this we make a big issue and a big ego is formed. Therefore, the more miserable we are, stronger is our ego. Because that which is not real is given a status of reality. So, Tantitikshasva Bharata. Therefore, friends, please remember, spiritual sadhana is this understanding. What is the understanding? If I am someone other than the body, the mind, the prana, etc., then their modifications cannot touch me. See, like the ocean cannot drown the water, the wave cannot destroy the water. See? The water is the reality. Ocean the cause and wave the effect. That is not the reality. But in this absolute reality, cause and effect is superimposed. And we get caught up into this Prakriti Maya. Therefore our Nachiket said, Anyatra dharmat, anyatra asmat, kruta krutat. Other than cause and effect, then you talk. You cannot talk. See? Mind survives only on the data of cause and effect. And wherever we have not got into cause and effect, our life is wonderful. Our life is meaningful. Our life is more creative. For example, have we ever wasted our time and energy in finding out why the fire is hot? No. We accept the fire is hot. Thereafter we start thinking how to relate with the hot fire in such a manner that the heat becomes an asset and not a liability. In the same manner, this whole world around us and all our panchakoshas, they are like this. What is there to think about? Use them to go beyond them. That is spiritual practice. See? This is what Bhagavan Krishna is telling. Tan titikshasva bharata. Therefore, take every experience of your life as an independent meditation and grow out of the negativities by the power of titiksha, tolerance, ability to endure all the difficulties of life and come to discover, yes, they are in me, I am not in them. Like, once Nisargadatta Maharaj was consoled by one of the devotees. And he was having cancer towards the end, so he was consoled. Maharaj, you also have got the cancer. God is so, unconsiderate. A Mahatma like you are also being given cancer to suffer. In that condition, he said, God did not give me cancer, I am cancer. Be very attentive. Dead body does not have health as well as disease. Both health and disease are supported by one reality which is not influenced by either the health or the disease. Once your attention is on that, then it doesn't matter anything in this world. How does it matter? Whether it was 64 paisa a rupee or 100 paisa a rupee, how does it matter? As long as I get money is enough. Why go on wasting time on that? Celebrate life, being one with the reality. So, agama apayina anityaha tan titikshasva bharata. Now, shitoshnadin sahataha kim syat iti shrunu. Suppose we are able to go through the difficulties of life with a smiling face, what will we get? More difficulties will come to us? This is the question. So here the teacher says in the 15th verse, Yam hi navyathayante te Purusham Purusharshabha Samadukha Sukham Dhiram Somrutatvaya Kalpate. Now, why should we endure and how long should we endure? One question. Second question. How long we have to do our spiritual practice? Third question. How long to do meditation? Fourth question. When will I get realized? Fifth question. Has anybody ever got realized? Sixth question. No end. See? So here Bhagavan says, Saha amrutatvaya kalpate. He is qualified to attain immortality. Who? Yam hi purusham samadukha sukham same sukha dukkhe tasya tam samadukha sukham. So samadukha sukham is the adjective of the purusha. So a person who has this equanimity towards joys and sorrows, tam, so tam samadukha sukham, sukha dukha prapto harsha vishada rahitam. So samasukha, dukkha sukha means what? When the miseries come, he is not depressed and dejected. When the joys come, he is not excited and losing the balance because of the joy. Therefore, harsha vishada rahitam. Then dhiram, dhimantam. Dhimantam means an intelligent. Intelligent means what? This is one word which is very intelligently wrongly understood. Who is intelligent? Intelligent is one who is able to discover the truth. And a non-intelligent one is the one who is suffering because of the intelligence. You will see in this one, intelligent people suffer more than the simpletons. They are extremely happy. Today, there is one Tukaram in our place. He was giving there. Like this he is coming. Probably he is a highly spiritual person. So he was coming like this. Swamiji, namaskar. I said, drink little less, you will fall down. Drink, nothing wrong in that. No, Swamiji, last night I didn't get sleep. So much of mosquitoes everywhere, how can I sleep? And when I wanted to sleep, then the morning came. So I came here. So, dhiram. Dhiram means he who is leading life in such a manner that nothing disturbs him. Isn't it? Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to say, two boys went to a mango grove. And so many beautiful mangoes were there. One of them took out the paper pencil and started the number of trees and the different classification of the mango jati breeds and how many mangoes per tree. Other fellows started eating 1 or 2 or 3 or 5, 6 mangoes, and that time that Chaukidar came. Both of them ran, one with the paper, other with the joy. See? Yam hinam vyathayante te purusham purusharshabha. So he who is undisturbed by the changes that are happening around us, such a intelligent, really great person, na vyathayanti, na chalayanti, nityatma darshanad, ete yathokta shitoshnaadayaha. So he is not absolutely disturbed. What is the reason? Nityatma darshanad, because he is very well rooted in his essential self. Because he knows joys have come, that time I was there. Then the joys have gone, I am there. Miseries have come, I am here. Miseries have gone, I continue to be here. Is it not our own experience? What more meditation we want? The childhood has come, stayed and gone. We are the same. The teenage has come, gone. We are the same. The old age has come, we'll take. We will continue to be the same. We cannot change. Therefore, we do not have the three experiences. Experience of birth, experience of change and experience of death. That Nitya Vastu is our essential self, and it is not an intellectual appreciation. See? A person who has seen the mirage and started running after the mirage waters. And then he comes to know that mirage water does not have water, it only appears. I know that mirage water is only appearance, and yet I run towards it. Will you call that as a knowledge? See? The moment I know mirage water has no water, my struggle to go and get it will automatically stop. This is the meaning. Na vyathayanti, because na chalayanti nitya atma darshanat, is ever rooted in the self. And it is so true. Morning comes, morning goes. I received one SMS. Morning comes and goes, and again the morning comes. Winter comes and winter goes, and again the winter comes. Summer goes and summer comes, again the summer comes. People like you, they come and then they go and they again come. But God does not make the mistake again and again. See? So, Nitya Atma Darshanad, Yathokta Shitoshna Deyaha. So what are the Shitoshna? What is the world of relativity? World of relativity has always been like this. You cannot change it. See? Have you seen the pictures of Jesus? Pictures of Jesus in the Europe have sharp features, in Israel sharp features, Jesus. You go in the African continent, his face starts becoming a little flatter. And then you go to the China, Jesus is like this, with one or two hair from somewhere or the other. Don't you see our Krishna drawn by the ISKCON people? A European Krishna, isn't it? Go to the South India Guruvayur, a typical Saudi Krishna. Go to Gujarat, Gujju Krishna, isn't it? This is how the whole world is influenced only by this. There is nothing that we have to be worried about. It has been like this. The influence is there, therefore, Shitoshna Sukha Khadayaha Anityaha. So, sa nityatma darshana nishtaha dvandva sahishnuhu. Two things. The one who is undisturbed by anything around. You know what is the meaning of disturbance? Disturbance doesn't mean that if it is too hot, why it is so hot, why it is so hot. That is not disturbance. Disturbance means any perception, be very attentive, any perception is followed by any projection is called as disturbance. See? A mirror is undisturbed. Whether a saint goes and stands in front, or a donkey goes and stands in front, there is no projection, there is no reaction on account of the mirror. See? Meaning that knowledge where the knower is not born is the reality. Hold on to this, hold on to this. Like our existence is known, but a knower is not born. So, these two aspects, Nitya Atma Darshana Nishtha, and second, Dvandva Sahishnu. So what is the meaning of ability to sustain the dualities of life? We stop reacting in this world. No reaction. I remember there used to be a time when I used to go from one place to another place, this Mahatma, that Mahatma, go and take darshan. So many Mahatmas. And then slowly you come to a conclusion that all the Mahatmas that I meet in this world, they become valid and meaningful only when I am identified with my body. So when I am not identified with my gross body, the gross world has no meaning. Then all the things in this world has no meaning. So what is the basic thing that is to be attacked in the spiritual practice is this. Disidentify from the gross body, stop living as the gross body, and start living as consciousness through the gross body. This is called as Amrutatvaya Kalpate. When these two things happen, the Shitoshna Sahishnu, Dvandva Sahishnu, and Nitya Atma Darshana Nishtha. Amrutatvaya, Amruta Bhavaya, Mokshaya, Kalpate Samartho Bhavati. Then alone he becomes qualified to be very attentive. He becomes qualified for getting freedom from I. This point I am emphasizing again and again. We do not want freedom for I. We want freedom from I. Freedom from poverty is the bondage of riches. You know, the bondage of riches is what? If there is a community where most of the people are, lower middle class or poor people, and if you have got very, rich status, you have got your car and bungalow and garden and everything, and all other people are, so this rich man is all the time afraid. If something happens, if they tell me, sir, will you please give your car? My mother is ill. I have to take her to the hospital at the odd time, 2 o'clock at night. I don't know what I should do. So, he is very much afraid there. He is not living happily. Therefore, samartha bhavati mokshaya. So, what is the moksha? Moksha is not of the I, but from the I. So earlier I was poor, now I am rich. Earlier I was ignorant, now I am literate. Earlier I did not know Sanskrit, now I think I know Sanskrit. See? But I is still there. As long as this I is a valid variable in your calculation, there will be always a mistake. Delete it. No calculations required. And this is what Bhagavan is telling here, Arjuna. And when he is not able to understand these things, he is looking at Bhagavan Krishna. You know what happens? Your eyes can see everything except themselves. Your mind can think about everything except itself. And when you come to your own self, you are absolutely quiet. And those who are able to stand to that aloneness, they are practicing spiritual sadhana. We are so much afraid of aloneness that we start feeling lonely because we have the habit of living as I. And then how we take away our loneliness? We take away our loneliness. TV, cricket match, music, reading books, writing this thing, phoning, sending SMS. Why we are afraid of our... Because I am a limited being. Discover that aloneness. This is what is called as Amrutatvaya Kalpate. That is real immortality. All others are relative immortality. Going to heaven, going to hell, going to Surya Lok, Chandra Lok, this is all relative immortality. It has no meaning whatsoever. After having said this, Itaha cha shoko moho akrutva shitoshnadi sahanam yuktam yasmad. And for this reason also, there is a reason why one should not promote and justify delusion and misery. See, do not justify and promote delusion and misery. And why one should have the ability to sustain the different good and bad experiences of life. Shitoshnadi sahanam yuktam. Why this should be done? This is said in the next mantra. Nasato vidyate bhavo. Na bhavo vidyate sataha. Ubhayorapi drushtontaha. Tvanayostattvadarshibhihi. Now this is one of the most wonderful verses. Na sataha avidyamanasya. Na sata means na asataha. So avidyamanasya, that which is not existing. What is not existing? Shitoshnadehe sakaranasya. Now from here onward, it is very difficult to digest what Bhagavan is writing, but it is the truth. Avidyamanasya, that which is not existing. What is not existing? Shita Ushna Adi, the good and bad experiences. And Sakaranasya, along with their cause. Na vidyate nasti bhavaha bhavanam astita. In reality, joys and the heat and the cold, the joys and the sorrows have no existence whatsoever. Now see, on the basis of this, the story goes about Janak Maharaj. Once he had gone somewhere and he was sitting in the jungle somewhere. Royal food was given to him, a picnic kind of thing. And after eating that sumptuous meal, he was just lying down below the tree. And then he dreamed that he is a beggar and there is a famine and a rich man was distributing food, so he was standing in that queue. And then that roti and the sabji was given to him. And by the time he just got it as the last person, a dog came and bounced on his hand and took away the chapati, and he was running after that and tumbled down and the dream broke. Thereafter the tragedy came for all the ministers in the court. Now his question was, I, the king Janaka, is the real me, or I, the beggar who suffered, is the real me? And see, after having a sumptuous meal, he dreamed that it is famine and he is hungry. See, who is this me then? That is called as inquiry. So here, Shita Ushna, Sukha Dukkha, न विद्यते भावः तेषाम भावो भवनम अस्तिता नहि शीतोष्णादि सकारणम प्रमाणैः निरूप्यमाणम वस्तु संभवति. The cold and heat cannot be proved by any pramana, any means of knowledge. Take for example, when we are here in our Lonavala, or you go to any hill station, when you go to the hill station, there the sunlight is becoming so strong and torturous. The same sunlight, when you go to the sea level, it is not that bad. One example. Second example. That heat or the cold is giving us joy and sorrow cannot be said for certain. There are people who enjoy taking hot water even in summer. They enjoy that. Now what is the logic? One more example. See, colors and forms are established by what? Eyes. Eyes are functional or not is established by what? By the presence of the colors and forms. So colors and forms are because of the eyes, or eyes are because of the colors and forms. They are mutually dependent. Any mutually dependent system is an illusion. It is not real. See, man and woman, they are real. Husband and wife, they are not real. Because they are just born with the imagination, I like her, or him, get married, and then I dislike him, I dislike her, separate. So who has come and who has gone? Therefore, here very clearly, nahi shitoshnadi sakaranam pramanehi nirupyamanam vastu bhavati. In this world, all the objects are existing only because of the senses they are coming in contact with them. For a blind man, the world of colors and forms has no existence. For a deaf man, the world of music and noise has no existence. See? There used to be one friend of mine, a Swami, he is no more now. He was having eternal sardi. Never he was without sardi. So he used to say, Swamiji, I have progressed spiritually. Then how? He said, now for me there are only 4 Mahabhutas. There is no smell. So for me earth doesn't exist. So, all that which is established by the mutual existence is an illusion. Like the mirage waters. Mirage water appears only in a particular situation. You never see mirage water early in the morning or late in the evening. It is only during the noon time. See how important it is. Similarly, you don't see that rainbow right in the afternoon, 12 o'clock I saw the rainbow. You can't bluff like that. It will be only in the morning or in the evening. So, nahi shitoshnadi sakaranam pramanehi nirupyamanam vastu sambhavati. The moment you use the right kind of knowledge, instrument, they disappear. So vikaro hi saha vikaraha cha vyabicharati yatha ghatadi samsthanam chakshusha nirupyamanam mrudvyatirekena anupalabdehe asat. Now why these Shita, Ushna, etc., they are not real? Because they are vikara, they are constantly changing. It is how true, you must have seen, experienced yourself. The parents who are with the children during their childhood, they don't know much how every day the child is growing. But you see that child at the age of, let us say, 2 months or 1 or 2 years, and see after 5 years, then you will suddenly realize, hey, how much big this fellow has become. But every day that change that is happening, it is not perceptible. But it is happening, isn't it? We never realize that we have become old. Somebody calls us uncle, auntie, and then we have to start accepting. Probably I have become old. Now people have started, but I don't feel. That's why many people say, Swamiji, I don't feel I am old. I said, nobody feels. That is the whole problem. In the old age, you should feel you are old. Then there is a balance. So, vikaro hi saha and vikaraha cha vyabicharati, and all the modifications are not permanent. They keep on changing. Yatha, just like ghatadi samsthanam chakshusha nirupyamanam mrudvyatirekena anupalabdehe asad. When we are looking at the pot, how do we look at the pot? That this is a pot seen by the eyes. Now you are told by proper inquiry, look here, the pot is essentially mud, clay. Because if you take out the clay from the pot cannot exist. Therefore, the reality is the clay and not the name and form of the pot. And therefore, name and form of the pot is asat, and the clay supporting the name and the form, that is the real, that is sadvastu. So, विकारः च व्यभिचरति यथा घटादि संस्थानं चक्षुषा निरूप्यमानं मृद्व्यतिरेकेण अनुपलब्धेः असत् तथा सर्वो हि विकारः कारण व्यतिरेकेण अनुपलब्धेः असत्. And therefore all that which is constantly changing in this world cannot exist apart from their cause. So cause is the one which does not change, and effect is the one which is constantly changing. So the ornaments, names and forms change according to the fashion, but gold doesn't change. The names and the fashion changes, the different type of clothing designs, but the cloth doesn't change. See? Now when this was said, one principle is brought out. Janma pradvamsabhyam prag urdhvam cha anupalabdhehe. So what is the vikara and what is the reality? That which is janma prag and pradvamsa urdhvam, that which is not available before its creation and that which is not available after its destruction is unreal. See? Anything you take, for example, this pencil. So this pencil is not an eternal thing. It was created on a particular date. So before that date, this pencil was non-existing. After the pencil is burnt or lost or whatever has happened, then there is the pradvamsa abhav. It will not be again available after the destruction. Therefore, all that which has the prior non-existence and the posterior non-existence, in between there is only an appearance. See? This appearance is defined in our scriptures many ways. For example, this one example, second example you take, the sunrise and sunset. Before knowing that the sun is stationary and the earth is moving and the movement of the earth is superimposed on the sun, we were thinking that the earth is moving around us, rather the sun is moving around the earth. Thereafter we know now scientifically that sun is stationary and earth is moving. Even after knowing, your earlier perception that there is a sunrise and there is a sunset, that perception will not change. See? Therefore, perception is not the authority of declaring something as a truth. Very important. And although we will see now after the knowledge that there is a sunrise and sunset, but what will be our understanding? So knowledge is there is a sunrise and sunset, but understanding is sun never rises nor sets. This is what has to be understood as sat and asat. So janma pradvam sabhyam prag urdhvam cha anupalabdhehe. And therefore the sukha dukkha, they are no more able to disturb this wise man, because he knows, okay, earlier it was good time, now bad time has come. It will also go, it is not going to remain all the time. Meaning what? All the experiences of our life, joys and sorrows, they are temporary, they come and go. But there is one reality which is supporting all the experiences, and that is the sadvastu. Recognize that. That is important. So, mrudadi karanasya tatkaranasya cha tatkarana vyatirekena anupalabdehe asatvam tad asatve cha sarva abhava prasanga iti chet. Now a question is raised. Sir, you are telling that the mud or the clay is the cause of the mud pots, therefore mud pots are not real, but the clay is real. Then we go further. Clay is the effect and there is a cause of the clay, Pancha Mahabhutas. So Pancha Mahabhutas are reality and clay is an illusion. And in this way you will come to a point when everything is not there. Sarva abhava prasanga. This is called as regression infinitum. When you go back towards the end, you come to a point that where you see there is nothing, there is nothing. So sarva abhava prasanga iti chet. Now the teacher takes up very deep and very subtle theme. Na sarvatra buddhi dvaya upalabdehe sad buddhihi asad buddhihi iti. Everywhere there are two perceptions. There are two knowledges. Which are those two? One is sad buddhi, where the knowledge is of existence, and second is the knowledge of non-existence. So, sarvatra, everywhere, about every perception, there are two types of buddhi dvaya upalabde, sad buddhi, asad buddhi iti. Now, what is the meaning of sad buddhi, asad buddhi? Yad vishaya buddhi na vyabhicharati tat sat. Sat buddhi is that which does not change. And yad vishaya buddhi vyabhicharati tad asat. Iti sad asad vibhage buddhi tantre sthite. Now take for example. Yesterday I went to that temple for something and I had food also. So there were so many people, one person sitting next to me, other person sitting in the opposite lane for taking food. On the floor, we were all sitting together. This fellow was talking to the other fellow. Do you recognize me? He said, no, I am thinking I have seen you, but I am not able to do. So I am so and so. Oh, you are that. We are meeting after 30 years. Where you have all been? So the one who is addressed is the same one who was seen 30 years before. But in between, the body has changed, the economic status has changed, the features have changed, the problems have changed, everything has changed. So there are two understandings. One is understanding about that which does not change, and second is understanding about that which is constantly changing. Therefore, sad asad vibhage buddhi tantre sthite. Now, sarvatra dve buddhi sarvaihi upalabhyate samanadhikarane. And everyone has this experience of two types of perceptions everywhere, simultaneously. Samanadhikarane, simultaneously. See, adhikaran is saptami vibhakti. Like, on the table there is a paperweight and there is a flower. So there are not two tables on the same table. In the same manner, in about every object, everything that we know, there are two understandings. One is the sad buddhi, second is the asad buddhi. So, sarvatre dve buddhi sarve upalabhyate samanadhikarane, and this should not be mistaken. Na nilotpalavat. This sad buddhi and asad buddhi should not be mistaken like what? Like blue lotus. Now blueness and the lotusness, they can be separated. Blue need not be lotus. Blue can be ink also. And lotus need not be blue. Lotus can be white also. So in this manner, don't misunderstand sad asad buddhi together. Therefore, na nilotpalavatsan, ghatahasan, patahasan iti, hasti iti, evam sarvatra. But how we know? Now, the flower is, then the paperweight is, then the pencil is. So, in these three perceptions, there are the sat asad buddhi. Now, what is the asad buddhi? The flower is, in this flower part is the asat and is the sat. Then the paperweight part of this knowledge is asat, and it is, that is part is the sat, and so on. So, na nilotpalavat, san ghat, san pat, san hasti iti evam sarvatra. Like there is a pot, there is a cloth, there is an elephant. In this way, you can see these two buddhis, Sat and Asat. Now, tayoho buddhyoho, of these two buddhis, Sat and Asat buddhi, tayoho buddhyoho, ghatadi buddhi vyabhicharati, tathacha darshitam, natu sat buddhi. And in this Asat buddhi, it goes on changing. For example, what? This is a flower. So, flower is, then paperweight is. So, the flower is not the paperweight and the paperweight is not the flower. But both of them are existing. So, the existence part in both the perception is common. It is not changing. So, Ghatadi buddhi vyabhicharati tathacha darchitam. We already told, natu sad buddhi. But the sad buddhi does not change. Tasmat Ghatadi buddhi vishayaha asad vyabhicharat natu sad buddhi vishayaha avyabhicharat. And therefore, the Ghatadi buddhi vishayaha asad, that which is recognized as the names and the forms, etc., is not real because it goes on changing, and natu sad buddhi vishayaha avyabhicharat, but the existence of that particular object does not change, and therefore it is the same, called as the sadbuddhi. Now here some questions and answers are taken up. Very beautiful one. Ghate vinashte ghatabuddhau vyabhicharantyam sadbuddhihi api vyabhicharati iti chet. Suppose we say ghata vinashte ghatabuddhau vyabhicharantyam. When the pot is broken or destroyed, then this is a pot, this knowledge also is destroyed because there is no more a pot. So, ghate vinashte ghata buddho vyabhicharantyam sadbuddhihi api vyabhicharati. Then we can say that there is no sadbuddhi, that this is a pot, the isness of the pot also has gone. How do you say that only the asadbuddhi changes and sadbuddhi doesn't change? Please catch this point, it's very subtle. So the teacher says no. Why? Na patadau api sadbuddhi darshanat. Because although the pot has been destroyed and there is no pot buddhi, but don't you have the knowledge that this is the cloth? So the existence aspect is still valid. Existence has not died, like the pot buddhi has died along with the pot. So the existence experience is the common. Slowly, slowly we will go deeper and then you will see, ultimately you will end up in yourself. So, patadau api sadbuddhi darshanat visheshana vishaya eva sa sadbuddhi. So, visheshana vishaya sa eva sadbuddhi. So, what is the visheshana? Visheshana means that pot was something specific. Here don't take visheshana means adjective. So the pot was something specific in the mud. So the pot is, so that visheshata, specificity is destroyed, and that which is not destroyed is called as the sadbuddhi. So visheshana vishaya eva sa sadbuddhi. Now sadbuddhi vad ghatabuddhi api ghatantare drishyati iti chet. And similarly if you say that like the sadbuddhi, ghatabuddhi also can be seen in another pot. This pot may be destroyed, but there is another pot. So how do you say that the asad buddhi with reference to the pot is destroyed because it is seen in another pot? So the teacher says, na patadau adarsanat. No, that is not true, because in the pot, in the pata, means in the cloth, you don't see the pot. So the absence of the pot in the cloth is asad buddhi vyabhichar. But pot is, cloth is, that isness is never changing. This is the meaning. This technical language becomes sometimes so frustrating what he wants to say. And that is why, those who do not have the inner stamina to study, understand, They say, "Theek hai, we agree Paramatma is," because they are now exhausted. So, Sat buddhau api nashte ghate na drishyate iti chet. If we say that when the pot is destroyed, even the Sadbuddhi also is destroyed, if we say like this, the teacher says no, because Visheshya Abhavat Sadbuddhi Visheshana Vishaya Sati Visheshya Bhave Visheshana Anupapattau Kim Vishaya Syat Natu Punaha Sadbuddhehe Vishaya Bhavat. So here also we cannot say, because in the absence of the pot, how can you say the pot is? So, to make both Asad and Sat Buddhi together, first of all there has to be a pot. Then only the Sat Buddhi pot will come up. But if there is no pot, how can you say the pot is? That doesn't mean the existence has disappeared. Because when we say, see the cloth is. So there again, the existence again comes up. And in this manner, you cannot say, when the Asad Buddhi, the pot is destroyed, that doesn't mean the existence is also destroyed. Existence is supporting other experiences, other perceptions. Therefore, another question is said, Ekadhi karnatvam ghatadi visheshya bhave na yuktam iti chet. If we say that because there is no pot, there cannot be existence of the pot, and therefore these two buddhis, Sat Buddhi and Asat Buddhi, cannot stay together in the same object. Suppose if we say like this, the teacher says, Na idam udakam iti marichadau anyatara bhave api samanadhikaranya darshanat. It is not necessary that you have to have the object. For example, in the mirage waters, the mirage water is not the reality, it is not at all, and yet it is seen. Meaning what? Sat Asat Buddhi is possible even in the illusion. It is not necessary that the object should exist. In this manner, all the world that we are seeing, it is not necessary that the world is existing. It is the existence which is supporting the names and forms of the world. This is the meaning. So, tasmat deha dehe dandasya sakaranasya asataha na vidyate bhavaha. Therefore, the body and all the dualities, dvanda, affairs of opposite of this body, etc., they have no existence. Because the body has constantly been changing, but we have no experience of change. The body is born, we have no experience of birth. The body will die, we have no experience of death. So this unchanging reality is the Sadvastu. This is the final conclusion. Tatha sataha cha atmanaha abhavaha avidyamanataha na vidyate sarvatra avyavicharat iti avochama. So we have already told that atmanaha abhavaha na vidyate. Nobody can ever have experience of one's own absence. Therefore, the self is the reality, and other than the self, everything is an illusion, because it is constantly changing. And please remember, illusion does not mean non-existence. Illusion means it appears but it is not. Like the sunrise and sunset, it appears but it is not. Like the mirage waters, it appears, it is not. Like that, I am the body, it appears but it is not. Because we continue to exist even without the identification with the gross body, as in case of the deep sleep or under anesthesia. We don't die. That means our existence is not dependent on the body, but the body is existing because of me. So that I is the supreme supporter and not the body. He who has discovered this, will he ever be attached to this temporary changing world? Evam atma anatmanoho sadasatoho ubayoho api drishtaha upalabdaha antaha nirnayaha. This is how the final conclusion. Atma anatmanoho. Atma and anatma. Atma is sat, anatma is asat. So ubayoho api drishtaha upalabdaha. These two things are thus concluded. Nirnayaha. This is the final conclusion. Sat, sat eva, asat, asat eva. So the Sat is Sat, Asat is Asat. The body never was eternal, it will never be eternal. That is why, if you want to define the world and Paramatma, a simple definition. That which cannot be held is the world. That which cannot be rejected is the Paramatma. What we are doing? Exactly the opposite. Trying to hold on to the world and trying to disown the Paramatma that we are. And therefore we are suffering. The moment you give up your hold on, do you know how we hold on to the world? This is also a very subtle point. See, I don't hold on to the world only by possessiveness. Like, we are holding on to the moon. How? We don't go and hold, we don't have ownership. Then we start inquiring about moon. See? Whenever our mind sets into inquiry, evaluation, judgment about anything in this world, we have given that thing a status of reality, and the moment you made anything else real, you have become unreal. Asad savai bhavati. Asad brahmeti vedcheda. See? Therefore, attachment has to be understood in a proper perspective. Attachment doesn't mean that, I am attached to my son and he is not studying and he failed and therefore, that is not attachment, that is foolishness. Attachment is when your mind is able to entertain any thought about anything, the mind has created the world. See? Then you will understand here. Evam atma natmanoho sadasatoho ubayo api drishta upalabdha antaha nirnaya sat sadeva asat asadeva iti tu anayoho yathaktayoho tattvadarshibhihi. So those who have thus discovered the Tattva Darshan, see, the Tattva Darshan word is defined by Bhagwan Shankaracharya so beautifully. Tat iti sarvanama. Tat is a pronoun. Pronoun means sarvanama. Sarvam cha brahma. Tasya nama tat iti. So when we say tat is a sarvanama, so, and sarva, everything is Brahman. Therefore, by the word tat means Brahman. Then second thing, tad iti. Now, tad bhavaha tattvam. The abstract noun made from the tad is called as tattva. Like guna, gunatva, jeshta, jeshtatva. In the same manner, tat, tattva, the abstract bhavavachak naam. So, tasya bhavaha tad bhavaha tattvam brahmanaha yathatmyam drashtum sheelam yesham te tattvadarshinaha taihi tattvadarshibhihi. So, who is the tattvadarshi? Tattvadarshi is he who is able to discover that absolute reality in every perception. He is a tattvadarshi. Like, who is a vittadarshi? He who is able to see how money can be made from anything in this world. There is one patient here, na? He wanted to talk to me 3-4 days. Finally, he talks. He said, Swamiji, I'll have to tell something about me. I said, I don't want to know. You tell me your problem. Otherwise, you start your problem from 1872. I don't want to know that. My problem is, I am a brand master. I can create brands and I can popularize anything. I can market very well this thing, that thing and all that. I said, then I can perceive the whole world's mood and market any product. I am extremely successful. So he is having that vision wherein he can see where money can be discovered. Tattvadarshi is the one who is able to discover the divinity in everything and being. Now see what a difference it makes. When you look at a woman with the vision of mother, with the vision of sister, with the vision of wife, your perceptions are different. And based on the perception, your interaction, life, everything is different. In the same manner, when you look at the world and you are able to perceive the divinity inherent in everything and being, this perception will change your total perspective of life. See? And what will be that perspective? Only love and nothing else. We don't want to improve upon the God. He is perfect. So tvamapi tvatva darshinam drishtim ashritya shoko moham chehitva shitoshnadini niyata niyata rupani dvandvani vikaraha ayam asan eva marichi jalavad mithya avabhasati iti manasi nishchitya tidikshasva iti abhiprayaha. So you also, like the wise people, look upon all these changing phenomena called as joy, sorrows, sukha, dukkha, heat, cold. These are all the dvandvas, the pairs of opposite, and therefore they are asat, they are not real, like the mirage waters, and therefore in this way manasi nishchitya, teach, educate your mind, and titikshasva, learn to endure, and then only you will be able to enter the divine kingdom, not otherwise. In this manner, this verse, na sato vidyate bhavaha na bhavo vidyate sataha, is very, very important verse, wherein we have given importance of existence to the non-existing thing, and the non-existing thing has become so important for us that the existence has become secondary. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.